Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's Data Bite. We're very excited for today's episode because I am here with Nathan Patrick Taylor, and he is the CIO of Symphony Care Network, and he's also a Panoply customer. So Nathan, thanks so much for joining us today. We're really excited to have you on. If you want to just do a quick intro to our audience.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'd add on the part that my job is kind of like half CIO, that traditional stuff, and then half kind of chief analytics officer. So I get to participate in both parts of that. And Symphony's a small, medium-sized healthcare company, like 5,000 beds, 3,800 employees. So I participate in the analytics process as well as kind of managing it. Our team isn't super huge, so it still gives me the ability to work with things like Panoply and other analytics tools, which is fun. I don't have to step away from the keyboard completely. I can still do some of the work.
Oh, yeah, that's great. And for some of you who followed our social media too, Nathan's done a couple of videos around Panoply implementation and getting started. So you might recognize him from those. And I definitely encourage you to check out his YouTube channel too, because it's a great resource on all things data. So a while ago, we did a mini series around how Panoply can enable a single source of truth for our customers. And this episode is starting a new series on automation. So we'll talk to Nathan today about getting time back with automated reports and scheduling your data source collection. So Nathan, first question for you: what kind of time savings have you seen from having these automated reports?
Yeah, I'd say that in the healthcare space specifically, we run into, I'd imagine a lot of companies do, issues where we have data coming from a medical record, data coming from our CRM platform, accounting platform. I'm sad to say we still have the use of Google Sheets and Excel spreadsheets. I don't know that we'll ever slay that beast. They're just like always around. As much as I try to limit it, I do also realize the need for them sometimes. There's just gaps in what vendors provide as far as functionality goes, where that data collection method is still needed. And especially if you're trying to innovate and do some cutting edge things, new types of clinical programs where your medical record vendor isn't creating that. And I'm sure other industries experience that same kind of pain point. So having Panoply in place where we can pull data in to one source, exactly what you said, lets us know we can go just to that platform and connect our tools to it. So we're like, on my channel, I talk all the time about Power BI. That's what kind of shop we are, but we also have a couple Tableau reports out there, and we still have some very old school SQL Server reporting services reports that are still floating around. So all that stuff still connects, directly to Panoply, and it makes being able to, I say the automation pieces, quickly building or building like a first pass and letting the end user see what it looks like and then coming back and iterating through. It also allows non-analysts to do some of this work, which is huge. So that all the time you're going back and forth, like, is this the report you want? And then they're like, no, can you change this? And then you show it to them again, and then you come back.
Yeah.
And it's this huge like revolving door of trying to get it right. And if you can empower the end consumer to do some of that work, you'll get to the bullseye a lot faster.
Yeah, that's great. That's a huge one, to not have to be a data analyst there. So I can see how that saves time specifically. And can you talk a little bit too about the reduction in manual work that you've seen?
Yeah, I'd say your lead into like the data ingestion and being able to set up your data sources. There's such a wide array of data sources in Panoply specifically that just come as part of the platform. Like it's built in, it's kicked into it. I don't have to rely on getting some sort of data engineering pipeline set up using like Python or R and have that kind of skill set. I can rely on somebody who's just a basic junior level analyst to be able to make those data connections. And then we make use of things like SharePoint. And if you're on the G Suite, then of course you can use Google Drive, and there's others out there where that routine collection of data just happens on a time interval. For us, usually in every hour, 3 or 4 times a day. And sometimes there's data collection just happens at midnight or 1 a.m. where it's just a one-time, once per day collection. And then the data is there and then it can be consumed. So it has reduced a huge amount of that manual import export that we would usually have to do.
Yeah, it's so great to hear. And, how do you think reporting would have been different through world events the last few years if you were not using Panoply?
Yeah, we had to spin up a lot of stuff really fast. And that's where I talk a little bit about the gaps between what is provided on a platform, and that's outside of our medical record, even other platforms. There were a lot of HR type information we had to collect, employee information that doesn't sit in a medical record. That's a completely different system. Even dealing with purchasing supplies from vendors through all of that supply chain issues, those types of problems weren't solvable until the vendor made updates. So we had to go in and create new processes to make all of that sort of work. And tools like Panoply, but then others that we have as well that are in the analytics space. I'm not shy to talk about Alteryx too, where we sort of put all of these systems together, the Panoply, Alteryx, and Power BI platforms, all three of them sort of line them up and get those workflows automated where it's sort of hands off. I think one of them we did, I think it was 3 days, 3 or 4 days that we had the data collection, transforming the data all the way out to something that was usable. And it wasn't just reports and analytics, it was also using things like Power Apps to create an app. Like that was mind-blowing to people that our team, being so small, could create a mini app in just a couple of days.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I love to hear that. And I'm so glad that it's working so well for you and it's giving you guys some time back in your days. So Nathan, it's always great to work with you and speak with you here. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Those were all my questions for today. So everyone watching, we hope you enjoyed today's Data Bite. And again, definitely take a look through Nathan's YouTube channel. It's a really good resource and really compelling videos. So thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for the plug. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Take
Thanks.
care.